Hello, everybody. This is episode 26. That's half a year's worth of episodes.
That's crazy.
26 weeks. This is how to use permission marketing in your business.
And in your business.
In your business.
That's what Lane said before.
Welcome to Business Can Be Better. This is a show where we help great business owners become excellent business owners through our chats about sales and marketing, finances, and leadership. So this is Kelly Rae.
Hi, I'm Kelly Rae. I'm a business coach and an entrepreneur, and started TMH Business Coaching 5.5 years ago, and I'm part of some other businesses in town too.
And I'm Lane. I own a marketing agency that I've had for about 3.5 years and aspire to be a serial entrepreneur. But, you know, I'm pretty new at this, just winging it.
One at a time, trust me.
What's new with Kelly Rae?
Oh, I'm having trouble sleeping. I find that in my life, every time something like new and exciting starts, I just don't sleep for a while. I don't know if it's like
stress or excitement.
Excitement. I can't shut my brain off. Like, I'll like roll over and write things in a notebook, and then I wake up and I'm like, what is this?
What did I say?
So I'm just really excited, I guess, lately about about new business and this business and
Good.
So I guess it's good that I'm not sleeping. What's new with
I
you?
guess it's an interesting trade-off.
What's new with you?
I'm very excited to have updated my website with new language. Like, we've really worked hard. I think maybe we even mentioned this on the most recent podcast, but been working very hard on getting our messaging more precise and accurate about what we do, because I'm very aware that most people know of us but don't know what the hell we do. So rewrote mission statements, rewrote USPs, rewrote culture statements, rewrote kind of the homepage sort of statements on our website, trying to make it a lot clearer what we do, who we do it for, how we do it that's unique, that kind of stuff.
I love that. I wish I had the internet right now on this computer.
Yeah, so I have my website open right here. We can check it out later.
Oh, it is nice.
So I updated all that, which is fun.
Awesome.
It's been good to have done that finally.
Yeah. Very good leadership things to do.
Yeah, working on the business,
good
right?
Job. Great job.
And today we're going to talk about permission marketing. This came up because someone that we both know made a post on LinkedIn about using it and was like, this didn't work for me. What happened? And so we just had like some comments and there, just had some dialogue about permission marketing. And then I'm like, why don't we just do an episode about this? Let's talk about permission marketing and how to use it in a business. And it's permission marketing. I guess people also talk about direct marketing, but sometimes direct marketing can mean like mail that's addressed to you and things like that, which I guess technically would be permission marketing. Right. But we're talking about permission marketing that is it's something that you've opted into. So we're talking about Facebook Messenger campaigns, SMS marketing, or like text message campaigns, email campaigns, those kind of things where people have opted in and then you've sent them messaging marketing. Yeah. Yeah,
so we're talking to the business owners who are sending
the
marketing. Also, I think like a few points that I kind of thought of today. I wanted to kind of talk about the point from the consumer.
Okay.
You know, like when people send me stuff.
As the recipient?
Yeah, how it kind of feels, because I think sometimes we forget that viewpoint.
Yeah.
And when you're running a business, you really tend to think of things just through your lens, and trying to get into the frame of mind of your customer, I think, would do you a lot of good in this area.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to hear what you have to say, because when I thought of permission marketing, all I thought of was email.
Right.
You know, like, yes, I subscribe, or like, no, I want to unsubscribe. And I was just thinking email.
And the post that sparked this was specifically about SMS, about text message marketing.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to distinguish that we don't mean texting your clients and texting your customers like in the way that you would email them personally. And it's a one-off thing you send, because I think you raised that in there when we were discussing it, where you said, well, some of my clients actually really like they prefer being contacted by me texting them rather than emailing them. But we're talking about the marketing side of it, not, hey, don't forget our meeting. Well, it might be. You could have automated reminders about your meetings, but it's not, hey, I thought of you. Here's a resource you should read or something like that. Yeah. Like this is more either it's done en masse to a large group of people, or it's done automated. Like it's triggered by some other action.
And would you say it's to people who aren't yet clients then?
No, I would definitely. It would also be to clients and customers that exist, but it's more of a marketing angle rather than just that like customer or client communication that is necessary in a relationship.
That makes sense.
But permission marketing was a term that Seth Godin introduced as far back as 1999, which at that point was probably just talking about email. But kind of what makes it permission marketing compared to other types of marketing is the fact that there's consent given ahead of time, like advanced consent, where people have said, yes, it's fine that you send me this, and that is required.
Yeah, I wanted to, I don't know why, but I really felt the need to share the law. Remember, like,
there is
years
laws
ago when they were talking about the Canadian anti-spam legislation changing and everyone was all scared?
Yeah.
So the main three things are just, you need to obtain consent. Like, they have to say, yes, you can send me such messages. Provide identification information. So you just have to say, like, your company, like, address, everything.
You have to have a mailing address for your company. Yeah.
And then prescribe. Oh, man. Provide an unsubscribe mechanism.
Yeah.
So those are the three rules.
Those are the three rules.
So I think a lot of people didn't even know those. Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, when you hear legislation, you're like, I don't have time to read the legislation.
Right.
Like this 85-page PDF on the government website. No, it's those three rules are pretty much keep you covered.
Yeah, and that's important because when this first came out, actually, when did that law first come into place? It was in the States first, but it used to be that you could just get email lists, just buy 100,000 emails that have been collected somewhere, and you could just spam anyone, and there was not a law against that, but there is definitely laws against that now. There's still some fuzziness around implied consent. There isn't yet like a strict law, but just get actual consent.
Yeah, because if you trick people into being on your list, you get a crappy response rate anyway.
Yeah.
People don't read it, people unsubscribe, people report you. But the funniest one of my first big management jobs was running a call center, and we like auto-generated phone numbers.
Okay.
When I think back, I just feel so bad for those employees. Like, they would call people totally without their permission.
Yeah.
Or it would be a list of clients who had like bought a certain car, and they would be calling to do surveys, like market research, and people were so angry.
Right.
How did you get my number? They're like, I don't know. It was on the computer.
Put in some random digits.
Oh, so bad.
The value of doing this direct marketing stuff is that now you can reach people without having to pay for it. Like with advertising, you say, here's the audience I want to reach, here's this amount of money, Google or Facebook or radio or whoever it is, and you have to pay and reach those people. But that's why this direct marketing, or more specifically permission marketing, why it's been emphasized for years. You'd always hear people say, like, build your list, get an email list, and that's so important in a lot of businesses because now you can market to them without having to pay some middleman entity that helps you reach those people. Now you have direct line of communication. You can send them a message, send them a text, send them an email. Like, you have that direct line, and there's no one charging you to reach them. So that's the value of that, and why there's companies who are just in the business of getting you leads, which is literally just, here's the contact information. Now it's up to you to market to them.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to contrast permission marketing with, like, I want to call it old school marketing, or like in-your-face advertising. I think in Re-Engineering Retail, that book I was telling you about by Doug Stevens, I think he talks about interruption marketing.
Yes.
And I think Seth Godin refers to it as the same thing in that book.
Yeah.
But it's like, in the old days, you were watching TV and you were like really into this program, then all of a sudden it was like, buy Dove soap, and you're like, well, I wanted to watch a TV program, I'll get up and leave the room. Or like pop-ups. Remember pop-ups on websites?
Yeah.
Ugh, some people still have pop-ups. So annoying.
I have clients with pop-ups on them.
Oh, sorry, clients. But
It works sometimes.
I'm probably not their ideal client then. You know what I mean? Yeah, in general, I'm not trying to be rude or mean. And that's one thing my clients need, like, they say to me all the time, you're not my ideal client. And I'm like, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
You should ask.
And there's also ways of doing it that are still valuable. Like, you can pop up something that isn't annoying.
Yeah.
Like, at least
something valuable.
At least there's now what you'd call exit intent pop-up. So at least they don't bother you. No, it's just they don't bother you until you scroll up into your browser bar, like you're about to hit back or go to a new place.
Before you leave.
So as soon as your cursor goes in there, then it pops up. So it's not going to irritate you while you're browsing the site. It's just trying to catch you before you leave, which still irritates people, but it still works. So it's hard to argue when it works.
Yeah, so like when people do give us that permission, we just need to be really, really, I think we need to be really grateful for that.
Yeah, and respect that.
Totally. And one more thing I wanted to say about that interruption marketing, like, it's totally dead. It's not, like, it's really not working anymore compared to permission marketing, because even when you think about YouTube, you're trying to watch something on YouTube. YouTube is giving you that countdown. They're like, you only have to endure this for 5 more seconds, 4 more seconds, 3 more seconds. And they're like, skip ad.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally. They obviously didn't do it on purpose, but in my opinion, it's been positioned as an imposition.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the book I'm reading now just talks about that. How it's like this interruption marketing, these advertisements are clearly not as effective because we're just waiting to hit that skip ad button, right?
Yeah,
Like it's not, and I don't think we can say that they absolutely don't work, because everything works. It's just, is it the right way to spend your money? Because even like Google banner ads, we have clients still doing Google banner ads, but it's because they're ridiculously cheap. Our expectation is nothing. It's just, well, hopefully they just see our logo and name everywhere they go, and it's just top of mind. But I mean, we're literally getting 79 cents per 1,000 impressions.
Okay, so you're
banner
saying
ads.
everything works
And
in certain cases.
Yeah, everything
Okay.
works, and then it's about which one gets you the best results for your money. Everything works. Radio still works, TV still works, but does it work as good as this other thing, right?
And we have to be really careful of that, especially me, like speaking in generalities about TV doesn't work, radio doesn't work, because every single business and every single target audience is different. Right?
It is,
so
yeah.
it could work for some and not for others.
Yeah, but we speak in generalities often, because we're not talking about a specific business. So it is, yeah, we have to make some sweeping statements at times.
I think
it's all right.
I think the permission part, like for me anyways, you know, I shut off like all my notifications on my phone, right?
Yeah.
So if people text me or email me, like I don't even know until I actually go into that app and look. But most people have all their notifications on, and I think that people really get annoyed with the whole interruption thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like nowadays if someone phones you, it's kind of weird that they didn't text you to get your permission to phone.
Right.
Like, can you talk? You know, usually people text each other, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of was thinking that the more invasive would be like from email to text to calling.
Yeah.
But what have you found? Like, I haven't actually done those surveys. I just kind of have my clients' opinions.
So I think the thing that is going to tell you how invasive they are is looking at how frequently people unsubscribe. That's all you need to look at. Okay, how frequently do people unsubscribe? That tells you they don't want you there.
Yeah.
So email is still, people are very tolerant of email marketing. I mean, everyone's getting spam, and whether it's spam or it's just not as appealing marketing into your inbox, or maybe some of it is actually appealing marketing. Like, there's all different variations of how much you welcome that message, but none of us are like, how did that get in my inbox? It's just kind of like, oh, well, if I really hate it, I'll unsubscribe. But you're probably going to see it 15 times before you're finally like, you know what, I should unsubscribe to that. I've never opened one of these. And so you unsubscribe. So the average unsubscribe rate industry-wide right now is 0.01%.
What?
Is the unsubscribe rate per email blast. So if you send
per
100,000,
email blast, okay.
what's the 0.1% on 100,000? Like
I told
10
you I was
people or
tired
something?
today, don't ask me.
So yeah, that's your unsubscribe rate on email. The source for that is Campaign Monitor. They also have, the average is 17.8% open rate, so about 18%.
That's higher than I thought.
Yeah, it is. That's not bad as an average, right?
So I used to think it was like 3 to 5%.
No, opens are, yeah, like we want 20%. If we're under 20, we're probably doing something wrong.
I'm probably thinking about survey responses.
Click-through rate is like 2.6%. So actually,
Okay.
like clicking a button in your email or clicking out through to a blog post or whatever you have as a button or a call to action there, that's like 2.6%. But your unsubscribes are super, super low. So as to contrast, SMS, text message marketing, has like up to literally 98% open rates. And we have clients locally in town that get that. We send a text message, and literally within like 3 minutes, 80% of them have opened it. And give them another 10 minutes and up to 90%. Like, it's literally up to 98% open rates on text message. So everyone's like, why am I still doing email with my 17.8% open rate? I'm going to text message. The unsubscribe rate on text messages is also just about 5%, because people are like, this is invasive. I didn't want this in my text message inbox, because that's still a really private place to people. Like, these inboxes are not all
I'm surprised
equal.
That's not higher.
Yeah, so
I'm
you get this
shocked.
stuff, and 5% of people every time you send a message are just like, nope, I'm out. So how many times can you go through that before you've lost half your list?
Yeah.
Right? So that's the balance is SMS, amazing text or amazing open rates and very quickly, and reply rates are great. But there's also a large segment of people who are like, don't market to me in my text message inbox. That's weird.
Yeah, and
So
I wonder
stay
if
out.
the open rate's just higher, because for me anyways, when I get a text, I'm like, what? Who is this?
No one
That's why
deletes it without opening it,
Yeah,
right? So it's
right?
not
So
that
that
you're
could be-
interested, it's just that you will open it before deleting it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then the other one that we sort of mentioned was that Facebook Messenger marketing is also a thing.
I hate that.
And it has 80% open rate and 20% click through, so
Ugh.
far more effective.
Yeah.
And that's Social Media Today is the source I looked up on that. But if you get a whole bunch of
Mr.
blocks,
Prepared
I'm
Pants today over
so
here.
studied today. I'm so ready for this. You can get your page banned if you do this wrong, because if people you can hit block, like if you're getting a bunch of marketing, you're like, I didn't want this,
Frank
and they
Kern.
don't and they Frank
Sorry, buddy.
and they don't stop, right?
Yeah.
Like even you're just like, stop messaging me, and you end up, people just hit a block button. There's a block thing on Facebook, and if you get that too many times, Facebook will just ban your page. They're like, nope.
Good.
People, and they'll shut your page down, and you have to work hard to get it republished. So
I've had some bad situations on there.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's a bot. And it's
Always
like trying to make you feel
awful.
guilty, and you're
Yeah.
like, this isn't even a person. Stop messaging me. I hate those. I think those are the worst, the most invasive.
And
what do you think is the worst? I was interested to hear this. For me, it's the Facebook
I think
messages,
Facebook.
I think.
because they're almost always bots, and you're supposed to have this back and forth exchange that's just so phony. The few times I've received the text message ones they've been pretty creative about it, and I've kind of enjoyed it. Like there's a local liquor store who did one because the rewards program is linked to your phone number, so they have my phone number, although I'm not sure I actually opted in. I think they're just taking those numbers and using them. But what they text was something like, the next 20 people in our store that show us this text message get 20% off, and then the next 10 after that get 10% off. And
I
they
would
made
like
this
to see
like
how that worked.
they made this little like live action
go?
scavenger hunt thing. No.
Aw.
But I thought it was neat. I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch for that next time, because maybe if I'm
See,
available, I'll jet over there.
You and me are really bad examples because we love marketing, right?
Right.
So somebody will be like, oh, I hate that, it's so annoying, and I'm like, oh, that's genius. I
Yeah.
love that,
That's so neat.
We might be slightly
Yeah.
subjective.
I do find the Facebook one's the most invasive, and text is not too far behind. At least Facebook, they do have very strict terms and conditions around how marketers can use it. So there's this 24+1 rule where once the user, like you or I, have opted in and said, yes, I will receive this message, which is often an ad, and it says message us on the ad, and you click it and you say whatever you say, and it starts a conversation. That company now has 24 hours to market to you basically as much as they want. They can send you a message every 10 seconds if they want. They have 24 hours. And the second that you respond and re-engage, 24-hour clock starts over. But at the end of 24 hours, if you've just ignored them or blocked them or whatever, they are no longer allowed to contact you except once. They have a one-time message that they can send whenever they want, anytime in the future, to try and re-engage you. And if you engage with it and talk back to them, they get their 24-hour and they're +1 again.
Facebook is more powerful than the government.
Maybe.
Like, seriously. But
They definitely have a lot of social influence.
Is this fair that Facebook, in all its amazingness, has given us so many things over the years, and when we get a Facebook message that's like spammy, we get so pissed off. But LinkedIn is like nothing but spam.
Oh, nothing but spam.
But we're just so used to that we're like, whatever, it's just LinkedIn.
You can go see my
Block,
post today
block,
about
block,
that.
whatever. Okay, I will. So why do you do permission marketing? Like, I think I wanted to talk a bit about why I do it, and why maybe you can shed some light on why your clients do it or why you do it. But for me, I thought, I do honestly want to show my expertise. And I feel like a weekly business tip does a really good job of that.
Okay.
And I also love giving people something quick and actionable, like we do at the end of every podcast. Here's something free, here's something actionable. If you do it in your business this week, you'll get more profit and you'll feel more freedom. Like I like to be able to show people, like, yeah, if you want to do more with me one day, look, I know what I'm doing. If you don't, here's some really great value. Like from the very beginning, I have never ever sent an email that wasn't like, here's some value.
Right.
Because I've always known that, like ever since I learned about marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other reason that we send, like, obviously offers and promotions, but
some of it is just on the automation side. Some of it is reminders, dentist appointment, hair appointments. Hey, remember you have this thing, or confirm by replying yes or whatever. There's all those ones that are more operational. There's surveys.
Feedback.
I think most of the ones we do are all promotional but very high value. So it's it's like 2 for 1. It's not like 15% off, because that's the thing, especially with text message and Facebook Messenger. It needs to be really high value, because on email there's going to be some tolerance for stuff that's not super valuable. Like I definitely get emails that are just like, I don't know, you should check out this software we have. Did you want more information? And that's not, there's no value there. They're just pitching you. But in text message, there's no way people would tolerate that. So they have to be really high value. So we give 2 for 1s. We also, when people opt in, we ask for their birthday. And my wife it was her birthday 2 days ago. So she got one from one of our clients that was, hey, come on in for this free thing. Happy birthday. And so we have that automated that comes out. So ones like that.
Yeah,
but
like that.
Yeah, they need to be highly valuable. They're not just, how's your day going? Because people are like, no, that's not, I'm not talking to you. You're a business, and this was automated, because people have a good sense for that. And also don't surprise people. Like, if people weren't expecting to hear from you, that's a bad scenario. You're going to get huge unsubscribes. Like, people need to know and expect, I'm probably going to hear from them because I entered this contest by texting this number to there, and I had to opt in when I did it. And at least I know that they're probably going to market to me. Don't surprise people, or don't change the expectation when it's all value, and then all of a sudden you just have this spammy promotional thing that doesn't have any value. Just don't surprise people in a bad way.
And I know earlier you said you said the whole idea was that we should be building our lists and stuff, and I do still think that's true. But I'm sure you specified high quality lists, but there's been so many times in the past, like, people have done this to get Facebook likes, people have done this to grow their email list. But I'm thinking of the Home and Garden show right now, because this is a really good example for me, where people are like, intelligently trying to get everybody who comes to their booth to give them their email address, because that's a way to get leads, right? Yeah. But I see so many times they do it wrong. They'll have a contest where they give away like an iPad. Right. So people will give them their email, but it's a landscaping company. Yeah. So like, you're getting emails from people who just want an iPad, not people who want landscaping. Yes. So you'd be, much better off if you were to say, we're going to give away a $5,000 landscaping gift card. Make it relevant. If you're interested in this draw, put your email in. Because then at least people that are somewhat interested in landscaping, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we've talked about that a bit on here, because that is important. Like, so the one client that we do a bit of this for locally is like a vitamin supplements company. So you go in there for your protein powder and pre-workout and all that stuff. And so we've done it often where the way that we get people into the list is by doing giveaways. So it's here's a 5-pound tub of protein powder, a pair of headphones, and pre-workout, or I don't know. It's all like workout fitness related stuff. Good. And so people opt in, text this number, text this word to this number, and then we have an automation set up that says, what's your name, what's your birthday, and congratulations, you've been entered into the giveaway. And then when you use these nice apps, there's just a simple like one-click button that says pick a winner, and it picks it from this list, and it makes it very easy. But make it relevant, because otherwise you've got randoms joining it that have no interest in what you sell immediately. Yeah. So make sure it has lots of value, no surprises. I would say enough value that your recipient feels gratitude when they get it. They're like, thank you for sending me this. And we get that sometimes, where we send that and people say, especially like this birthday automation one I mentioned, people will be like, oh, thanks, that's amazing. Or, sorry, I'm out of town this weekend, I'm not going to be able to get it, but that's awesome. Even though, I don't know, people don't understand that there's no one on the other end really reading their replies. I read your replies. If you're replying to my email. On email, yes. I do. Yeah. I'm talking text message stuff. Oh, those poor texters. Because sometimes people are like, oh, I really needed to hear that today. That's true. I hear that. I read that. With text, timing is essential, because like I said, almost all the opens will happen in the first 3 minutes. So don't send it at a weird time. Send it at a time when people are most likely to actually be able to check their phone and be able to take whatever action you're asking them to take. Don't do the come in and get your 20% off at the liquor store when it's like 9 a.m, that kind of stuff. Or do, because those people really are going to buy a lot and have a problem. This has really turned into a lot of texting talk, and I love that. I'm surprised by that, and I bet a lot of people are going to be too. So when I share this, I'm definitely going to mention that, because I think a lot of people could benefit from doing that. Yeah, I think it is hugely underutilized, as long as it's done carefully. Yeah, and on brand, like classy. Yeah. Yes. Like I could think of dentists or hair salons or whatever that send appointment confirmations. fine. But if it's like, if it was my company with my clientele and the way we do business, if I were to just send some sort of like slang filled text message with like emojis that was like, buy this thing, people would be like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can combine it with some sort of rewards program, that can be really beneficial. Like the restaurant that we work with, they have a rewards program where every bill you have, every time you eat, you can add points and you collect points, and then you can earn like free dessert or free appetizer or whatever. And so we've been looking and haven't quite solved yet a way to do this automated, but people who are, say, like, 30 points away from getting that free dessert, just topping them up and just sending them a text and say, hey, we added a few more points to your account, so come in for a free dessert, and just topping them up. And or people who haven't been in for 3 months, because now you can see how frequently they've been in, and just send them a reminder and an offer or something. So there's lots of ways you could combine a rewards program too, because then how frequently they've been in, how frequent of a customer they are, all that kind of stuff. So that is great.
We got to wrap up quick here, but I did want to include, if you're cool with it, who are some people that you have not unsubscribed from? Because I've like BDC, Bloomberg, and a couple big business coaches. Those are some people that I like. I don't read them all by any means. I delete most of them, but I still kind of want to know what they're up to. They give me like valuable information.
I would have to say there's not very many.
Yeah.
The ones are
Social
very...
Media Examiner.
Yeah, there's marketing ones that are more like newsletter-based or news. Like Medium is the one that I get every single day because I have a Medium subscription, which is the best $5 you could ever spend if you want to be learning all the time and do a lot of reading. I subscribe to Medium, and they send a newsletter every single day, and it's all algorithmic based on what you've read in the past and what you like. So they'll send you, I forget how many, maybe a dozen or 20 headlines that you might be interested in. So I scroll that literally every day, and then there's a couple other marketing ones that I check. But I can't think of too many business ones other than apps and software that we actively use, like ActiveCampaign and I don't know, ones like that will send things that are just advice we might check in on. But
awesome. So we agreed to be done by 7:45 today.
Yeah, we're trying to wrap this up.
So give me like the quickest tip of your life.
We started a minute late, but it's all right. Okay, my quick tip is to try an app. If you want to get into this text message stuff, try an app called Simple Texting. That's one that we have used and currently use actually with a client. Mostly we use more advanced, like ActiveCampaign can do it, and there's a lot of customization. It can get quite complicated, but if you just need a simple app that's cheap and easy to set up, use Simple Texting. There's apps built within it where you can do text to win contests, you can run polls to people, you can do the birthday text that I was talking about. There's a lot of built-in apps that are really easy to just turn on and as a way to collect messages and send them back to people. So try Simple Texting if you want to get into this SMS stuff.
Yeah, and my quick tip is to read that Permission Marketing book by Seth Godin. It's getting old now, but it's still really relevant. Or at least read like the summary of it.
When's it published? When he?
I want to say 99, but that's got to be too old.
Well, that's when I had it said that's when he came up with that term. So maybe that's when the book was published.
Oh, and also, you know what? At our other store, I know we have texting built into a program. So check that first. Like I think a lot of us underutilize our CRMs.
Right.
Like your CRM might do texting instead of having to get a whole separate app.
Yeah. Or there'll be an easy plugin that integrates really naturally or something. Yeah.
If you don't understand anything at all, just call me and he'll do it for you.
No, there's no pitching allowed on here.
No, that wasn't. I'm saying don't call me. I can't figure it out.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching and for listening. We really appreciate you being here with us.
Yeah, and you can watch us every Tuesday live on YouTube. Easiest way to find that is bit.ly/Better Business Podcast. We go live 7:15 Mountain Time on YouTube. And then you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts. And we would love for you to subscribe on any of those places. Where can we follow you?
LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Kelly Rae Tamaki. We'll find you. Find me on all those.
And I'm more of a Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. And they're all different because Twitter is Lane_Anderson. Instagram is the real Lane Anderson. And you can just look up my name, Lane Anderson, on LinkedIn.
We would have been done on time if it wasn't for all
of my handles. Okay, thanks so much for listening. See you next week.